We are live. All right. So, hello everybody. Brandon and Sarah here with the
Hey.
Harmonious Duo, and we're here for a few reasons today. Sarah, why don't you tell them why everybody's here?
Well, we wanted to come and have this conversation with you guys because we realized that, many of you may have just started blogging for your business as a way to generate leads and traffic and ultimately boost your sales. But we've discovered that a lot of people are coming to us saying that they're having issues with their blog generating the results that they feel their blog should be getting. And so what we've realized is that there's two specific keys, right? There's two key elements that every blog has to have
That's
in order
right.
to set it up to be a wildly successful blog. So,
And it took us quite a bit to figure out these elements. It took us, a lot of
yeah,
trials and tribulations to go through, a lot of people to listen to, and a lot of investments into what other people were training and wanted to teach us. So,
yeah. And, what one thing that we discovered is that most often the reason why people are not focusing on these two key elements to turn their blog into a success is because you're overthinking it. Plain
that's
and
right.
simple, you're
It's real
overthinking it. You
simple.
think that, blogging is like this major rocket science formula, when in fact it really just boils down to these two key elements that we're going to share with you today. So for those of you guys who stay tuned, then no matter what you're blogging about, no matter what business it's for, or what passion or hobby or cause you want to bring awareness to, if you've got a blog, these elements can be applied no matter what type of blog it is.
That's right, because we're here to help you get more visitors to your blog. And as long as you have a blog, I assume that you want people to read it. That's the reason why we have blogs in the first place. So
yeah, now if for some reason you've stumbled onto our hangout and you don't have a blog yet, you've been thinking about maybe making that jump for your business or for yourself, then we'll give you guys an opportunity later on in the presentation to grab your blog and get started with us today and start implementing what we share with you right away.
that's right. For those of you who do have a blog, then this is going to be just maybe a sigh of relief to go, oh, okay, well, you know what? I know for a fact that I've been missing out on one of these two things. And once I actually start providing this to myself, into my blog, then I'll be able to actually see the results that I've always wanted. The whole reason why you got the blog in the first place.
Yeah.
And so a little bit about
Results.
us. Yeah, a little bit about us before we go into sharing these two elements with you. We'd like to just share a little bit about how we got started into the blogging and what it's done for us, and why we believe that if you're not blogging, you should be. And if you are blogging, you're not seeing results, this right here is going to help you do that, do just that.
Yeah.
And so, Sarah, tell them a little about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Sarah. For those of you guys who are new to our Hangouts, we're from theharmoniousduo.com. That's our blog. And the reason that we decided to start blogging for our business was because, well, honestly, to be quite honest, we actually didn't know right off the bat when we started this online business that that's what we'd be doing. We thought it was just kind of like a sideline tool to help generate income for our business. And
Right.
what ended up happening was about 18 months ago when we made this decision to connect with our online business and start blogging, is we realized that it was so much more than just this, little internet website that we put content on. It actually, one of the things that I think I've enjoyed the most about this blogging journey is the fact that what it forces you to do is the same things that you can bring to your personal life that can help boost your personal life as well. So, blogging, you have to be a good communicator. You have to be an effective communicator to connect with your target audience and to really build that personal connection.
That's
And
right.
something that I've noticed is, with Brandon and I, we've been together for about 5 years now,
Yep.
almost 5 years. And it seems like the longer we're together, the less open with him I am. And, just being honest. And one of the things that I've started learning during this 18-month blogging journey is that it's actually helped me slowly become more comfortable with being open with him, because I'm forced to be open with our audience. And if you have to be open with one, you have to be open with the other. So that's just a personal benefit that I've gotten from blogging myself, is learning how to communicate and connect.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, a lot of people who can relate to that are those kind of people who maybe you're watching this right now who just, me, I'm the kind of bit of the opposite. We'll get to that in a minute. But her, like she just shared with you guys, one of her big breakthroughs was that she was an introvert who did not have a way to allow that to escape. She wanted to, and she's screaming out on the inside, here, I want to say this, but she just didn't feel comfortable. And it wasn't just me that made her feel like that. It's everybody, so don't think like I'm some big bad guy or something like that. But that's just the way she is. That's the way a lot of people are. They just are like, they're not comfortable. And this gives you that avenue because no one's looking at you. Nobody's going to be there like, to be over your shoulder while you write it, to say, you know what, that's not right, or you could have done this better, so.
Yeah, or to, because something that we've noticed since we started blogging is that a lot of people refer to it as like an online journal, an online diary. And that's essentially what it really boils down to, is being able to, just like a journal, your own personal handheld, journal, that you write your personal feelings, you write your perspective on the events of the day, or things like that things that you want to remember for future reference. It's the same thing with your blog online. So just like he said, with the whole aspect of not feeling judged, with sharing your feelings openly, that's one of the things that blogging can do for you. And I know that you came here to talk about like your business blog, but it's kind of the same thing, because if you look at the way the marketing is shifting through today's culture, is that businesses are being built in a totally different way. It's not enough. Customers, consumers, potential audiences, they don't want to be sold to. They want to feel a connection with the brands that they're buying from. And so a blog is a great way to help you do that, because the fact that it kind of forces you to be open, authentic, genuine, sharing things about yourself that can help connect with the readers that you are looking to connect with, to feel, to help them feel close to you. Because if you can get people to know you, like you, and trust you through your blog, because you're being open and you're communicating with them and you're just being real, then you have a better chance of building a loyal long-term following with those customers, turning them into repeat. That's versus right. Attempting to just attack the one-time sales.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, I started blogging basically the same time she did, but I just did it in a different kind of way for about a decade prior. So basically when I was about 18, I did exactly what she said. Instead of making an online journal, I just basically started writing. I was a very angry kid. I was a very aggressive person. I was the kind of guy that just, I blamed everybody for the way that I felt, and I wanted to make the world feel my pain. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can do that. When you have that kind of nature built inside you, you don't really have a way of escape. But after so long of me behaving in a way that just disgusted myself, that next morning or hours later, I found that, there's a healthier way to get through this. And no one told me about it. I just kind of picked up a pen and started writing. Never really was instructed in any way to, let it out maybe through a pen, and that'll make you feel better. No one ever told me that. I just was like kind of praying to God, like, let this be the way, because I'm tired of feeling the way that I'm feeling. And so that's what got me.
So were his knuckles.
That's right. Yeah. It was painful, and I know that with me being, how old, 18 years old at the time, and finding that saved my life. And that got me comfortable with writing things down. And I was never one of those creative writers who would, come up with brilliant topics in English class. I was the guy who would copy off of your paper if they asked us to write about our own life story.
Yeah, I was the girl that he would have most likely paid to write his
I wouldn't have paid. I just was,
I would have paid.
It's just crazy to think that I was never a kind of person that enjoyed writing. I didn't think that I was creative enough to write. I didn't think that I had what it took to be a good writer. And yet now I blog for business. That's what we do. We blog for profits, and we teach others how to build and brand themselves online by doing that same thing and leveraging one of our tools, which is the blog. Mm-hmm. And that's huge for a lot of people who are afraid to take that step and say, well, you know what? I'm not a good writer. I can't spell. I can't do this. I can't do that. All those are just excuses. And those were excuses that I made for myself prior to getting involved with this as well. Because if I was comfortable with doing it by myself, why not build a passion around something that I'm comfortable sharing with the world? And that's what we do every day is get to hear people's passions and see them come to life through pen and paper, and now through actual blogging. Mm-hmm. And with me, it actually got me to where when I met Sarah, I was so open. I was so comfortable with the communicative part because of how my household was when I grew up, which is a whole nother hangout. But I just knew that I wanted to better my communication skills. I knew I wanted to be able to express how I felt in a way that would allow them to really understand where I was coming from, what I was really trying to say, and not have to dig through words and read between the lines or anything like that. And that takes skill. Not everybody is just born with just, great communication skills. And writing or having a blog helps you tremendously increase those skills without having to read books and without having to do all those things, which a lot of people are also afraid of, and I know that when I actually got to a point where I was writing with her, where we were writing more often, it was every day staying up until 3 a.m. Remember the beginning stages?
Yeah, in our beginning stages, it was crazy.
It was a pot of coffee. I mean, we were drinking, 3-4 pots of coffee a day up until 3 or 4 in the morning, up at 7 in the morning, and we would just keep going. And mind you,
that's with us having, at that time that we started this, a daughter who is barely 1 year old.
Right. And this is seeing 0 results.
Yeah.
Seeing no results in our business and still getting up every single day because we knew that it was going to work. What we were being taught, there was no denying that it was working. There wasn't. And all we needed to do was just really figure out how to utilize this tool and be able to drive it really the same way that we were being taught.
Yeah.
And not do things on our own and not feel like, okay, well, you know what? It's not what we're being pulled in the wrong direction or something like that. I mean, like this blogging right now is going to be able to, we believe, shift the way people do business forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like she said, building that relationship with customers and clients in the future is going to be the reason why you exist in the future.
Yeah.
Nowadays, or back in the day, it could have been just like, okay, well, Target could be Target. Now you have another mom and pop store that's maybe blogging about what they have to offer, and they're actually offering the same things that Target has, but they're coming off in a more friendly manner. Who do you think the local people are going to go to? Who do you think actually a majority? They're not trying to get those people that open up those shops with blogs. They're not trying to get 50-60% of the market like how Target and Walmart and them are trying to get. We're trying to get 1%, 1% of 1 million or 1 billion people, to buy from you or to follow you or to be a part of your following.
But the cool thing
that's
about,
huge.
A lot of us, we hear, what he's saying about how like, we're not trying to be like Target and Walmart. We're not trying to go for like 50 or 60% of the market. We just want we just want our tiny little cut. But the crazy thing is while it may seem like he said, let's just say the actual percentage was just 1% of the market, right? Even still, you're still doing better than you would be if you weren't blogging, because the fact that 1% isn't just your one local percent.
That's
right. Blogs are global. So not only are you tapping into your local market, but your blog has potential to tap into markets across the country, across the globe, in every other country that maybe you're targeting who could be interested in what you have to provide. That's right. The cool thing. Instead of having to worry about opening, franchises and shops in other countries, which cost like $1 bajillion, now you have the ability to not only connect with other people in markets across the globe with your blog, but you have an ability to reach out to them and to really just resonate by sharing these personal stories, by sharing, stories about your business, the vision behind it, why you're doing what you're doing, what it is about this specific business that you feel could bring so much value to people's lives. Like sharing all of those in your blog is what's going to help turn that 1% into a global 1%. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or even more than 1%. I mean, yeah. I'm just giving you numbers because just imagine how successful you would be if you had 1% of 1 billion people. That's a lot. It's really fun to think about those kind of numbers. And so to get into the meat and potatoes of why everybody's here, we shared a little bit about ourselves and the elements now to get you to, the elements.
To seeing the results that you like for your business blog. Sorry, he got distracted by the
I did. I'm a numbers man. I just started thinking about, I need to get to a blog about this right now.
So see, this is what happens when you blog. You turn everything into a blog. But so like you said, the meat and potatoes, you're here because you want to learn the 2 key elements. And honestly, if you leave this hangout after hearing this and you're not experiencing like a mind explosion over the fact of how ridiculously simple these are, then I don't know what to say.
I mean, and the reason why we say it's simple is because once you actually grasp it and do it and make it a routine, it's simple. Yeah. It's hard maybe for people to grasp that, or it's hard for people to understand that you can actually get and build it into a routine. This is not something that's going to be impossible. Like she said, we built this into our routine with a newborn. And I was still working at my other place. I was still putting in hours as a poker player. So I was still putting in 12 hours a day at that time. And we went with a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no excuse for what we're about to say to you, because the first element is what?
Consistency.
Consistency. How powerful is it? I know some people's guts just kind of tightened up and we're like, oh, I hope they wouldn't have said that as the first thing.
That's actually kind of funny because me personally, I've always been someone who doesn't really like to stick to schedules very much. I am allergic to day planners and things like that. So whenever one of our mentors shared this with us, I got that like super tight gut feeling in my stomach too. So I was like, no, schedules, ew.
That's right.
But the thing is, when it comes to being consistent with a blog, there's two things to know. Is that first of all, now bear with me because I'm drawing like a mind blank on where this reference actually came from. But it was said to me that in order to be considered a consistent blogger, your blog has to have a minimum of 200 articles on it. So if you're attempting to portray yourself as a consistent blogger and you have less than 200, then it's not really going to work for you because you've yet to build for lack of it, you've yet to build that consistency that people online need to feel comfortable with viewing you as an authority figure on whatever it is that you're talking about. And the second thing, as far as consistency is concerned, is that most people, we tell this to them. We say, one of the first things you have to do to make a wildly successful blog is just be consistent with your posting. And, it's like the world crumbles like a cookie.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
They come up with a million excuses, unfortunately.
But really, it all boils down to you don't have to stick to the same schedule that, say, maybe Brandon and I post at. You don't have to stick to the same posting schedule as, say, some other famous blogger you follow who posts like 18 times a day. What it means to be consistent for you is sitting down, deciding how often you want to post for your audience, and then what days you'd like to post, and then just sticking with it. So if you only want to blog Monday through Friday, then, be consistent with showing up Monday through Friday. That's it. If it's just...
But provide content, though. Don't just blog to...
Yeah, we're not talking about like throwing up things that have nothing to do with providing value to challenges that your audience is facing right now.
That's right.
You want to provide good quality content, which you can find through research, through connecting with your potential audience.
And through learning skills of storytelling, because your story actually can be a big thing, and it can be about you, as long as you make you about them. Exactly. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and if you want us to just have a hangout specifically on that, we totally can. Just let us know. But, just even if it's only once a week, if it's every Monday at like 11 a.m., as long as you're consistent with the schedule you choose for yourself, that's all you have to worry about. If it's once a week, once a week. If it's 5 days a week, 5 days a week. Just stay consistent so that your audience gets an idea of when to expect your new content to show up. Because if your audience is coming to your blog and they're like, this fool hasn't posted since like December of last year,
Which I see a lot of. And I'm going to butt in real quick because I see a lot of this. I get, I'm on, my main social platform that I'm on right now is Twitter. Okay. Now she's big on Instagram and I'm big on Twitter as far as what we're trying to do and how we're trying to brand ourselves right now. And there's so many people who I talk with who will push me to their website or their blog. And they'll be like, hey, check out my blog. And their most recent post is like January of 2012. And they're still promoting it. Like it's fresh content. Like it's like I'm going to sign up to their newsletter and receive emails from these people who haven't posted in over a year. Like that to me is just absurd. Please don't be that kind of person. Like these blogs are meant to be fresh content and updated daily.
And we've spoken about that in various hangouts, and we'll continue to speak about that in future hangouts as well. But that's something that is really important for you guys to grasp, is being consistent and not falling into the trap of posting like for a whole year straight and then nothing. Or
posting garbage consistently because you only have, say, quality content for 2 days out of the week. If that's your case, stick to those 2 days. That's what we're saying. Like those 2 days are fine, but just make sure that you market the hell out of the other 5 days.
Yeah.
Because you need to bring them in front of everybody. If you're only going to be posting 2 times a week, that means that you're only going to bring new visitors twice a week to your site. So you have to be putting some extreme amount of content out there.
Especially if your blog is brand new, because nobody knows who you are yet. So they still have to feel some sort of incentive or motivation to go to your site. Okay, well, I don't really know you, so why should I go see your site? So that does kind of increase, if you choose to post less frequently, that does kind of increase the work that you have to put into while you're new with bumping up your exposure and providing that motivation for new people to come and look at your content. So that's something you might want to consider as well in terms of when you want to do your posting schedule.
Yeah, being new and everything, you want to be able to build the strength of your site. You want to constantly be building the strength of your site. And by posting content every day, what you're doing is you're giving people a reason to come back. Like how she said, not everybody's going to come back to your site.
Yeah.
But if they know that you're on routine, that every day that they've been to your site, that there's new content there, they're not gonna need an email from you. They're just gonna go to your site every day knowing that it's there. So now that's gonna increase all kinds of things on your site. It's gonna make you look a lot stronger to Google. It's gonna get things get things shown a lot more.
It's gonna help you build that authority figure status in whatever industry or niche that you're attempting to target, because of the fact that, you know, if you can provide consistent quality content that addresses challenges or things that your audience is looking to have faced or overcome or looked at or anything like that, if you can manage that on a consistent basis, then especially when you're brand new, then all you're going to do is, like Brant said, you're going to be able to increase your ranking on Google faster than you would if you were inconsistent. You're going to be building your authority, and at the same time, you're also going to be building your brand, because people now can begin to expect that type of quality from you. And if they can expect that type of quality from you, they're going to be more likely to recommend your site to other people who they know are experiencing or looking for the same thing.
And then to even leak into added benefits that have nothing to do with your business, like how she mentioned what the blog did for her on a personal basis, what it does for you by being able to, man, I lost my total train of thought right there. That's funny how that happens. That happens. I'm telling you, it's okay. I feel like I'm getting old.
Well, he is getting old.
I was talking about, we were going to bring about the consistency. It had something to do. It was really powerful, though. I'll bring it up throughout the rest of the Hang on a Fire member.
I'm sure he'll have a light bulb moment in the middle of our next point.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So the second key to building a wildly successful blog for you guys is all about the formula. Yes. Now I know earlier I addressed, like, people think there's like a rocket science formula. Well, the only formula really that's involved is invest, learn, teach.
And that is a rocket science formula.
I disagree.
No, but it is just as powerful, because without one of those things, without just one of them, which is just what makes a formula powerful, is just if you take away one variable, the whole thing won't work the way it's supposed to.
Exactly. You may see results, but it's not going to be consistent results. It's not going to be long-term results, and it's definitely not going to be sustainable results. And without this formula, along with consistency, then you're going to find that people are going to be less likely to view you as an authority figure, which means they're going to be less likely to buy from you, which is ultimately, if you're blogging for your business, your goal, which is to connect with your audience and to make sales.
That's right.
I would hope.
And what's another way that we like to say those three things that you just said? The formula is what?
Invest, learn, teach.
So
I'm mind blanking now.
Well, another thing to do is learn, do, teach.
There we go.
There you go. It's basically, there's so many different formulas that can lead to the same result, but you've got to use every single variable within the formula to get that result.
Yeah.
And
so the invest, learn, teach formula, as taught to us by one of our mentors, is the first part, which is invest. And that includes investing in your education, investing in your skills. In order to be a successful blogger, you have to be up to date. You have to know things, because that's the reason people are looking to you, is because you know something they don't know that they want to know. And the only way that you can do that is if you actually know what you should know. Say that 5 times.
You can't fake it till you make it in this world.
You can't, because people in real life have a pretty intense BS detector, but people online, I don't know what it is about it, but they can sense that stuff like 10
Well, they can Google it.
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing is there's so much conflicting information on Google that sometimes
that's all you need, though, is that one thing is to
And so what we recommend is, investing in your, like we said, in your education and in your skills. And in order to do that, you have to be willing to invest in products, invest your time through maybe company events or non-company associated events that could help bump up your marketing, your personal development, your mindset growth,
your networking,
your networking skills, things like that, or just like your actual selling skills. All of those are ways that you can invest in your blog, that you can help provide, and you can take everything that you're learning in these products and at these events, through these audios or videos or, whatever it is, and translate that into your blog that can help someone else. And so if you've got that first pillar with being willing to invest in your education so that you can always stay up to date with current trends that are working for your market, what's not working, things like that, then you'll always stay ahead of the game.
And the best way to make sure that you do that is to, as soon as you learn something, to get on it. As soon as you learn something, to teach to somebody else in a way through your blog, video, whatever it is that you got to do. Because with our blog, you can actually add videos on there. You could do things that are going to go ahead and create a more illustrated purpose. They're going to be able to get to know you even better than what you might have done if you just wrote something down. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, like every blog out there gives you the opportunity to attach media, but the thing that's different with ours is the fact that we make it to where you don't have to know coding to make it happen, which takes out all of that extra time that you have to put into with other various platforms. And like he said, as soon as you've made that first step with investing in your education and upping your skills, the second you learn something, like he said, you just turn around and you blog about it. And that's how you can always come up with creative content, because if you're always investing in your education and your skills, then there's always something new that you're learning that you could blog about. And then, I just lost my train of thought.
See, so it's not just me. See, woo!
He started it.
I love this. No, well, basically what we're trying to get across is that if you learn something and then you do something, then you teach something. Or if you invest something, you learn something, then you teach them. There's really no difference. All it means is that as you do it, you learn it. And as you learn it, you teach it. And as you teach it.
Oh, yes. I just realized that's what I was going to say with the only way that a person really learn something is when they can teach it to someone else, and that person they're teaching it to understands what you're saying. That's how you teach someone, and that's how you and when you teach someone and they actually understand it, that's when you know you've truly learned it. And that's something that a blog gives you the opportunity to do on a consistent basis. That's right. And so now that we've I think we've shared with you the formula basically for getting the successful results in your blog, for that you really always wanted for the whole reason why you started blogging. There we go. Because I know that for us, it was really tough for us in the first year to be able to get the results that we wanted. And like you said, we've only been doing this for about 18 months. Yeah. But in these past couple months, I'd say the past probably few months, we've had more breakthroughs than we've had in the previous year and a half, or the previous year. I mean, it really is profound to say, but everything that we're in front of you sharing with you is due to the fact that we've made these terrible mistakes in our business. Mm-hmm. We've done things that have held us back from seeing the results that we know we could see, because people around us are doing better than us and that are not as smart as us, not as driven as us. And we're not taking anything away from them. We're just saying that's how awesome a blog can be, is that the results aren't anything but a formula. If you follow simple steps and you provide valuable content, I'm telling you, people are going to find you and they're going to come back to you, and they're going to send your stuff out to people that they feel are going to be in need of it as well. And then once it gets to a third-party reference, once you get referenced to somebody from somebody, it's over. There's no way that they're not going to go. Expand. Because all of a sudden now that person that sent you to that other person is most likely respected as well. So now there's no question in you. You've never even met a person before, and now they're on your site, buying from you, following you, listening to you, and learning from you. That's powerful stuff. And there's nothing else that I've known that can give you that opportunity on the internet. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that me personally, as far as the blogging goes, that I've really come to love and appreciate is now that we've, like he said, in the last couple of months in particular, is when we've started to see more consistent results. And that's partly because of the fact that, we finally started committing to these keys and not trying to divert and do things on our own terms or our own way. And so when we finally did that and we've started to see the results that we've wanted this whole time, one of the things that I'm learning to really appreciate and value is when we get people to comment on our blog and leave like these long posts about how they've been searching for this information for months, and this was so easy for them to understand. They've, attempted to learn it through other sites and sources, but the way that we've presented it or the way that we've shared our story really resonated with them, and it helped them learn exactly what they were looking to learn to overcome whatever challenge they were facing at the time. And so to have that sense of gratitude coming in through a comment has been really powerful for me personally, just to be able to see, more people coming in and saying, thank you so much for writing about this, because I've been struggling about this for a really long time. And now I feel like I can take what you've shared and start seeing results. So thank you. And that's been amazing for me. It's been super powerful to see exactly and to be a part of as well. And so now that you've heard as much as we have to say today, there's a button right over here that's going to allow you to access exactly how she promised you at the beginning of this hangout. For those of you who stuck out to the end, there's a button right there. It's going to allow you access to our Klaatu blog. Now, this platform, like we mentioned, is
one of the finest out there, and it's newly updated, and there's nothing else out there right now like it.
No, right now as of right now in the marketplace, it's the first for-profit blogging platform, which means it's the only blogging platform in the market right now that's a safe place for you to monetize your content. So if you're attempting to make sales for your product, service, or your business, and you're on a free website platform, you're actually in danger of your site being shut down because you're competing with their own advertisements, and they don't like that. They have the ability to shut down your site at will without notifying you. So if you're looking for a more secure platform to monetize your content on, we strongly recommend that you take a look at ours, because the fact that, one, you get to not only do you have the safety of a place to monetize your content, but earlier when we were speaking about the consistency, we've helped build in a plugin that's very unique to our own platform that's called the 21-Day Blogging Challenge.
That's right.
And the purpose of this plugin, is to help you build a consistent habit for your blogging. So every day you come in, you plug into this little 21-day plugin, and it helps you walk through and create a blog in a matter of 10-15 minutes. And so that's going to help you, especially if you're new to blogging, with building that level of consistency we were talking about. And that's something that is very unique and is only found on our platform.
And so the third thing and the final thing before we sign off is that there is no risk in this. The only risk is not taking action, not seeing exactly what we could do when we start working together as a team. Because once you do access the blog, you're not only just getting the blog, you're actually getting us too. We're going to be waiting for you on the other side.
We'll be ready
and
to work with
welcoming you to the team and allowing you access to some training videos that's going to get you started fast.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, that's basically it. If you saw value in today's Hangout, then click the button, and we'll see you on tomorrow's Hangout. Take care, guys.